Hi everybody, welcome to number 4 in the series of the twin flame runner chaser dynamic. What we really want to acknowledge in this series is that twin flames are one unified spirit in two vessels, here to raise relationships from 3D level to soul level, sacred union, divine relationship for themselves, but also as part of the ascension process and for the collective. Part of that process is being aware of the separation, the separate bodies, and all the different parts in between that full infinite unity that is truth, and that separation which is true at the physical levels. And there are many, many layers and dimensions that we work through to bring that unity down into this reality. So in the last transmission in the series, we were talking about accepting that connection at more levels of your being, because there is a tendency to fight that connection. All the disparate parts of yourself fight it, because there are lots of blockages and criticisms and so many different ways that what is presenting to you from your twin and from the outside world, it doesn't match what you know to be true, or it doesn't match your expectations, and it brings up so much, it triggers so much, it brings up so much pain and so much trauma. And it is supposed to, because your twin is your mirror and they're reflecting back to you the disparate parts of yourself, the parts that are here to be healed in this lifetime and in this process, this very important process. So where we're going to now is all about deepening into that heart listening and that knowing of what the connection's about, and moving through it as seamlessly as possible. So this first column here, we've got life lessons, mirrors and separation. So that's where we're coming from. This middle column, listening to your heart, wanting to know everything about you, recognizing the higher calling, this is where we're at now. I'm finding also that this is the first day of 2024 and we have some energies coming in, which is like the wheel of karma moving forward a notch. This is moving, having cleared a lot of karma, moving up to the next level. We've got support of the tailwind of really connecting to that higher self, that higher GPS, that knowing of who you are, that self-love, and allowing relationships in the outer world to reflect that higher connection and self-love and self-respect. And this feels very much connected to this reading as well. So you may want to listen to the other reading I did today. I'll put the link in the description box. And that one also talks about unrequited love, which comes from basically those parts of yourself that are not connected to that self-love, and how that's reflected back to you, mirrored back to you. And so there is no mirror more clear and strong and accurate than your twin flame. Atatati takakakaka. And then where we move to from there is knowing your own divine power, really connected into the eternal nature and multidimensional nature of that twin flame love, which cannot be lost. It's permanent. It cannot be tarnished or affected in any way at that level. and being able to serve ourselves, knowing that in serving ourselves we're also serving our twin flame, but also the greater good. When we're really connecting to that part of ourself, that higher aspect of ourself, we're connecting at a collective level to the bigger picture and to our place in that. So yeah, this is all very connected to the other reading today, but it's a deepening in and a focusing towards the twin flame. And it fits nicely into the Twin Flame Runner Chaser series, because basically when it's such a huge part of the twin flame journey is that wrestling with that unity via being in separation. And what I mean by being in separation is learning about all the different levels of your multi-dimensional selves that you're experiencing individually, separate from each other, but you're learning about all how they are all separate yet connected to your whole being. So they're all existing on different dimensions, different realities, different frequencies, but you are calling back and integrating those parts of yourself that have split off, and understanding how they fit into the big picture, calling them back in. And your relationship with your twin flame is the biggest mirror in showing you where you are at in that. And one of the ways we learn about that can be through emotional pain, spiritual pain. You're connecting to that unity, it shows you the separation. So the way to move forward in your twin flame journey towards unity is within yourself, and by always bringing yourself back to that reference point of unity at the higher levels, which you find that within your own heart. Through that shows you via your twin and via your outside world and via the emotions and sensations and experiences and memories that come up for you on all the different levels, how to navigate that. It's showing you where to go next, what to work with next. So let's have a look at these cards and deepen in. So the first column, where we're coming from, is life lessons. You can break free from recurring negative patterns by praying to know the lesson and blessings they contain. So we can clear those painful patterns, those negative experiences we're having, those frustrations, those confusions, by asking to know, connecting to the truth of the lessons and blessings they contain. What are they here to show us? What are they reflecting back in the mirror to us to say, hey, look, that's what you're working on now to access the unity. The card underneath that is number 11. Being mirrors for each other makes self-love so important. I wish I was there to love you, but if I'm not, I want you to love and nurture yourself. I really felt that energy and intention, particularly in the feminines, in the divine feminines today before I pulled these cards out. I just felt this really strong surrender, again, similar to the previous reading today, the more general reading, of surrendering to wanting the love for self and for your twin, wanting the best, the most loving for both of you, whatever that may be, whatever that looks like, and letting go of the ideas of what that looks like, or the ideas of that being with a certain person or with your twin, or so for example, the feminine feeling like they just want their twin to really be loved and love regardless of who that's with, not needing that to be calming back towards self. And what I'll say about that as well is that unrequited love came up in the other transmission today. And in this last card in this column of the future where we're going to is service. And we must learn to serve ourselves first before serving our twin or others. Open your heart to the compassion felt from giving without receiving anything in return. This is service to you, your twin spirit. And I feel like if your love isn't returned, or it doesn't appear to be returned in a day-to-day level, or it feels like one is doing all the giving and it's unrequited, it's not coming back in the same way, it's not coming back in the expected way. This is something that really teaches us. It's usually the feminine in the twin flame dynamic, not always, but the feminine energy that is the one that's doing all the giving and that is not getting back what they're wanting. They're not getting the unity, whilst the divine masculine usually is the one out in the real world focused on that level, not focused on their heart, not focused on the love, or appears to be that way. So what I'm saying is that unrequited love teaches the divine feminine or whichever counterpart in the connection is experiencing it, and I feel both experience it in different ways. It teaches them how to give without expecting in return. So it teaches you about unconditional love, love without conditions. And when you're learning to love the other without conditions, you just want the best for them regardless of what you get back. It might sound like that is being a doormat or something like that, but it's actually not. It's elevating you to unconditional love. So you're not doing it you're not giving from an empty cup. You're giving from a loving heart in overflow. So the way to do that is to love yourself first, give to yourself first, and then from that heart space, from listening to your heart, really having that unconditional love and not expecting anything back. So unconditional love is like no matter who they are, no matter what they look like, no matter what they do, that love is there, that love and acceptance of who they are. Doesn't mean they have to be in your life. If being in your life would not be loving to yourself. I hope I'm making myself clear there, but if it feels like you are the only one doing the work, whether you're the masculine or the feminine, if you feel like you're the one striving, you're the one reaching out, you're the one always raising the consciousness, always bringing up the issues, always putting the effort in, always aware of the other, and it feels like you're the only one doing the work, and they're just cruising along and having a life separate to you, this is for a reason. This is a mirror. So this is basically telling you that it's teaching you about unconditional love, about how to focus on yourself, how to bring that focus off what it appears like in the 3D world, where your expectations are not being met. It doesn't feel in balance. It feels like you're doing all the work, however that looks for you. Bringing that back into your heart and into yourself, into giving to yourself, bringing that focus to yourself, and allowing that to meet your own needs and expectations in your own life, whilst unconditionally loving them where they are, as they are. Atatatita kaka. Atatatita kaka tita kaka tokoko. Akatatita kaka kaka. So the card under that is separation. So these 3 cards are about the life lessons that you're learning through separation, through the fact that you are not in unity all the way through down to the ground. I know you're hurting. I feel your pain. As we both dive deeper into self, what rises is what needs to be healed. Trust your journey to the heart. There is no separation between us, as we've been as one since the beginning of time. At higher levels, you are one. So the more you can focus on trusting yourself and where you're at in this connection, you have to be able to therefore trust where they're at and what they're bringing, because they are always a reflection. You're always working as a unity, however unconscious that is. So, second column, where we are now, listen to your heart. There will be times when you don't want to trust the whispers of your heart. Your heart is the compass of your soul. It will always guide you to your highest learning and your best of intentions. A certain situation calls for this. Atatati takakaka, akatati takakatokoko, akatatatata. So whatever situation you're experiencing in your own unity and your own separateness, bring it back to your heart, deepen into your heart. Always bring it back to, what is this bringing up for me? Where is that coming from? Why am I feeling that? What does my heart say? Bring it into your heart. Love yourself through what it brings up. I feel that in the solar plexus and the diaphragm. Okay. So what I'm getting there as well, the next card, number 6, is, I want to know everything about you, but I hold myself back from asking. I'm afraid I'll get in too deep. So I think what I'm being reminded of here is that we often, because of this connection, because of this really strong unity that you have at the higher levels, your heart is always wanting to be connected. You always are connected, and it's always aware of that truth. And it creates a yearning down in the physical levels. But what happens is, when we do get information back about our twin flame, or back either about them through things like social media or friends, or through psychic, telepathic messages that we're constantly getting back. Our egos and our minds, based on our patternings and the wounds and things like that are already existing on certain levels, past life levels, familial levels, even just past experiences, they can bring up pain. They can bring up assumptions or fears around what's really happening based on what's fed back to you. So that hurts. But this is always something that we need to then run through our heart, do healing on, work through it, and bring it back to love always. Bring the love into it, and nurture yourself like you would a child. But that then means that you're afraid to dive in deep again until you've healed that, and that is sensible. You do need to heal, you do need to integrate before you then go to the next level of healing, which might be the next level of contact. So yes, this is what can come up when you're connecting to your heart. But what it also brings up, if we go to card 10, is I always felt I had a higher calling in life, and our connection brings more clarity on it. So the more that you connect to the unity through your heart, and you feel that unity, that higher connection, and keep bringing the focus back to that, the more is revealed to you where the separation is, but also you become more aware of the connection and your own higher calling. So it brings you closer to yourself, to a more clearer understanding of self, a more clearer connection to self each time you clear those traumas by connecting to that unity within your heart. So that's what the current process is. Really connecting to that unity in the heart, having the courage to work through the next level of pain or triggering that comes up, always bringing it back into the heart, nourishing and healing it through there, and through that being revealed even more deeply who you are. So you might be afraid to get in too deep by connecting to that higher aspect, or also to your twin in their own lives, or getting information about them. But what it does, brings up the triggers, brings things for clearing, and brings more clarity to your own self and who you are, in your separateness and in your unity, what your higher calling is, and brings you more on track to your own higher gifts and your soul path. So where we're moving to from there, that's what we're mastering at the moment. And as we move through that process, where we're going to from there is own your divine power. Replace codependent people-pleasing with assertiveness and empowerment. So when you bring your focus to yourself like that, and you understand more of who you are, what you're here for, what your calling is, what you're doing, you're getting more clear, you're also getting more powerful, and more assertive and more confident, and you care much less about what others think and what they're giving back to you, because you feel so much more independent within yourself and capable within yourself. There is less need for anything from others, and that's not in a cold way, that's just in a really powerful way, loving, centered, capable way. And when you need less from others, and particularly your twin, that really is what's working through that codependence, which is very much what mainstream 3D paradigm relationships are based on meeting each other's gaps and filling them for each other, being closest on the tick box of what you want because it meets what your shortfalls are, and vice versa. And obviously it's much more than that, but there are lots of reasons people come together in relationships and they work as well at those levels, but we're talking about twin flame relationships here. There can be no codependency in those. When we're shifting relationships from codependency to divine union, which is about two whole beings, self-loving whole beings, connecting in trust, love, and soul connection to one another. So the next stage of that is really stepping into your power and your independence in a healthy way, clearing codependence. And with that, another 11 card is union instead of mirrors. It's the other 11 card was mirrors, where we're coming from. Our love is eternal. It exists in every dimension and cannot be lost. So when you become aware of your own divine power and independence and ability to manifest and create from a higher level, follow your internal GPS and listen to your heart, you know from that place that your connection is eternal and multidimensional, and there is nothing that can touch it on those levels at all. No matter what happens down on the ground, in real life, who interferes, what kind of sabotage there is, it doesn't touch it at any other levels. That's just bringing things up to show you that there's still some work to be done on the ground, but it cannot touch your connection. And when you know that, that clears a lot of separation trauma. A lot of separation trauma. And really can fast track the next level of unity. So supporting that one is service. We must first learn to serve ourselves before serving our twin or others. Open your heart to the compassion felt from giving without receiving anything in return. This is service to you, your twin in spirit. So these three cards so connected. They really paint a beautiful picture, don't they? It's saying you're serving yourself first. You're not needing anything in return. You're self-sufficient, you're not codependent, and you're so strong and confident and aware and connected to the truth of your unity. And that cannot be broken. So the card that we're bringing in here is the Four of Cups. So what we're working on, this is the action card, this is the energy we're bringing in. Self-serving disinterest, missed opportunities, bored, dissatisfaction, unmotivated, depression, reluctant, and weary. So what we're doing, we're bringing codes in to clear that perception of missed opportunities or feeling dissatisfied or unmotivated, reluctant, tired, worn out. And we're going to turn that around to seizing the day, proactive focus, engagement, enthusiasm for life, gratitude, re-engaging. We can see re-engaging also as unifying, connecting, and self-awareness. So awareness of the whole of yourself, not just the parts that are hurting. All right, so let's go. Atatata tita kakakato ko akatatatata. Akatata tita kakato ko toko toko akatata. Akatata tita kakato ko ko. Akatata tita kakata ko ko. Akatata tita kakata tita kakato ko. I'm seeing separation. Akatata tita kakato ko ko. Akatata ko. Akatata ko. I'm also getting know everything about you from that middle card. So separation, physically separated, but know you, feel you, know everything about you on another level that may not be fully conscious. And that being afraid to ask or to get to know more of what's really going on the ground is partially a good thing, because it's likely to be false information or not what you think it is, or and therefore not helpful. But also you've got to be ready for the next level of healing. So trust yourself in when you reach out to know more or reconnect or re-engage. So don't see these as missed opportunities. Trust yourself. It says self-serving disinterest. So I feel like it's trust yourself if you don't want to connect. There's a reason for that. It's divine timing. It's part of a process. Look in, run it through your heart, but ultimately trust yourself. And not seeing things as missed opportunities because they're in divine timing. When you're really trusting yourself, you don't miss any opportunities that are missed were not opportunities that needed to be taken up. So you haven't missed anything that's for you. Anything that's for you, you will always have opportunities to access and connect with. So they're taking me to union now. Our love is eternal. It exists in every dimension and cannot be lost. So nothing is lost. Nothing is missed. And so they're showing me reluctant and weary, and then showing me the service card. And I've got chills down my back, so down the left side of my body. So I see that as very much divine feminine. We need to learn to serve ourselves first before our twin or before others. So not self-sacrificing is the main thing here. Not giving up what we need for ourselves, which particularly feminines have learned through time and through programming and societal expectations to do this. This is not empowering. So, there is unconditional love. There is loving as they are, giving without wanting anything in return. And so what I'm feeling is there's some codes coming in around the imbalance of that, like the difference between giving unconditionally from a full cup because you don't need anything in return, you're self-sufficient and you're giving with love. But there's also balancing that up with being able to receive openly, open-heartedly, to fill your own cup. Being able to receive it just doesn't have to be from the expected place. So being balanced within your feminine and masculine within yourself to be able to give and receive in balance, but not giving in order to receive. Yeah, that's the message. Not giving in order to receive, or in order to get something back from someone, which is a bit strategic and manipulative, but is what the patterns tend to be in relationships. The foundation is based on I give to you, you receive, very much in society. Someone buys you a coffee, you're expected to buy them one back the next day. We're set up this way. So it's more along the lines of, I'm buying you a coffee because I want to buy a coffee for you. Not getting dissatisfied or upset when that one person doesn't then bring the coffee back the next time. If you're truly given that from love, that was a gift. And if you want to receive a coffee, it will come back to you in another way. Yeah. They're telling me that when you give from your heart, the rewards that you receive back are infinitely larger than what you've given. You may not be conscious of what that is at the time, but when it's truly from a loving, unconditional loving heart, which in a way the separation and the unrequited love, if that's what you're experiencing, can be teaching you. When you're truly given from unconditional love, the rewards are exponentially larger than what you have given. They may not be immediately visible. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm feeling now that process coming to completion. Those codes have come in. They're being received down the spine. Okay, seeing these Four of Cups turning over now to proactive focus, engagement, enthusiasm for life, gratitude, re-engage, and self-awareness. So there's a lot of bringing focus back to self, being self-aware, being in that heart space of gratitude. Self-awareness brings back the enthusiasm for life, clears up that disappointment, dissatisfaction, enables you to re-engage with life and potentially with your twin, if that feels right to you. Yeah, there we go. Hearts are open. Third eyes are open. Getting the namaste hand position. Feet on the ground. Spine aligned with the earth. There we go. Earth star chakras. Engaged. Engaged. Okay. Engaged. So it feels like some of you may have jumped out of your bodies a bit. You know, it may have felt hard to be here in your full presence, your full multidimensional presence. And it may have been twin flame pain and traumas that have been triggered, that may have made you jump out, feel dissatisfied, made you feel like you don't want to engage with life, made you not feel particularly motivated in your own life, maybe a bit reclusive. That now as those aspects of yourself come in and embody again, connect with the earth grids, connect with the earth star. It feels like that's happening in both twins, and also bringing in the third energy for anchoring as well. So you can re-engage with this earth plane from a more empowered perspective, a more empowered energy, and feel more inspired again to engage in life from that open, activated heart, and that full awareness of the multi-dimensional levels of your twin flame unity, and how you are always connected to that, and how to access that through your own heart. Blessings, everybody. That was quite a big healing, so make sure you listen to your bodies, rest when you need to, drink a lot of water. Anything that comes up around those themes are like to be just moving out, moving through, coming up for you to see and be aware of and to shift out. So just bring love into them and let them go with love. So just a little announcement, something to make you aware of if you would like to work together as a group with Twin Flames. I have set up a tier on Patreon to do Twin Flame work, where I will post information specific to a smaller group of dedicated people who want to work on their Twin Flame progression. And it will include some group workshops. I'm running a bit of a promotion now. I've had it set up for a little while, but I'm only really just going to get it started now. There's content on there already. So it's where I've consolidated a lot of the different twin flame channelings that I've done on different platforms, and it's all available together on Patreon. You can join Patreon for free and access that, but if you join the twin flame tier, you'll access additional content specific to the more focused group, as well as live workshops together, where we'll bring it through specifically for you. So the promotion that I'm offering now is that the first 5 people will also get a short personalized twin flame reading, the same format as these videos, where they will receive a link and be able to access their personalized twin flame message and healing. So if you're interested in that, the link's in the description box. And yeah, I look forward to seeing who wants to work together on this. So blessings everybody, and see you in the next transmission. Happy New Year if you're watching this at the time of recording.